Hey, it's Mike. Finally got the carburetor for this old Rambler and a host of donor parts to help convert this accelerator linkage from a solid linkage to a cable. And with the help of an online picture, hopefully be able to locate where we're going to put that in the firewall and get the pedal set up. So let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Okay, get this lift plate off of here. This is going to be not going to be a permanent installation, so I'll just leave my tape where it is. We won't bother with the gaskets just yet. All right, here it is. Carburetor I chose for this setup is a 750 Street Demon. Went with the Street Demon for a couple of reasons. One of them being ease of use, right? They're supposedly very simple to set up and calibrate. Another one being it's got small primaries, so hopefully it can get some pretty good throttle response on this engine. This engine is about 410 cubic inches. Should be running about 400 horsepower. So the other Demon is a 625, and I thought we might be a little bit undersized with the 625, so that's why I went with the 750. But looks like it goes on pretty good. These Street Demons are they have two bolt patterns, one for the square bore, one for the spread, and should mount up to pretty much anything you got. We're just going to snug this down just a touch. All right, this cable bracket is another piece from Demon. It's made for this carburetor again. Definitely want to change these studs out when we finally get all this assembled, since we lifted on these. And I think I'm going to want a wrench, perhaps. Maybe. Okay. Oh. Well, next time of business here is to start thinking about our throttle cable. This cable's for a 69 American with a V8. Earlier cars, cars in 69, they switched to the cable style, and all the cars earlier, this being a 68, had a solid linkage. This is the linkage for the V6, or not the V6. I keep calling it a V6. All these things had an inline 6. This bracket here would mount on the firewall. That's what these mounting holes here are. I'm going to sit up here, and the linkage would rotate the accelerator in this fashion here. The V8 cars had a similar style, except it ran perpendicular to the car and rotating this direction here and articulate the accelerator. But I don't have the V8 linkage anyway, so it seemed like a good idea to just go ahead and convert over to cable style. Carburetor comes with a host of ball ends to adapt any of the linkages we might have. Man, I'm dropping stuff all over the place over here. This here looks like it might be the right the right ball for our cable. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Okay, that's pretty well and good. You know what? That tape is not going to help us because I need to be able to articulate the butterflies. So I'll just have to retape it. All right, see how that, there we go, that works better. How's that? Yeah, we got a nice full range of motion there. Okay, our cable. Of course is had to use a pair of needle nose to squeeze these wings down a bit. I guess what I'm doing right at the moment is just checking the throw here, just to see how that works out when it's plenty of throw there. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to bottom out at the end of the range there, so we got lots of room. That'll be perfect. The next question we've got, where's our hole going to be? And all I really have to go by are photos from the internet. Now, on the most of the photos I've run into are of 69s, the SC Hurst versions of the American, because that's what everybody's really interested in. And it looks to me like this hole is tucked in here, behind the valve cover a little ways. So what I've got, what I've done is, from the photo I was able to get online, create a full-size template. So I'll take a minute here, show you how I came up with this template. It's a very, very simple process. Okay, I'm going to show you how to really easily take an image that you might find on the internet or take yourself into a full-size template that you can use for all sorts of things. Brackets, locating holes, positioning, whatever it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my file. This is my image, and first thing I need to do is just kind of isolate the portion of the image that I'm interested in. So I'm just gonna select this portion here and crop that out. It kind of help save on the printer ink. And so first thing I'm going to do here is just take and do a page setup. And the thing that we need to pay attention to most is the scaling. We want this to be at 100%. Then we just do File, Print. I've already got one printed out, so I won't press the print button. And we'll take you to the print. Okay, here on the desk, we've got our 100% printout, and what we need to do is measure the feature on this page that we have a known measurement for in real life. And for us, the square hole where the accelerator cable clips into is considered our critical measurement. And so we'll just take some calipers. Just take a quick little measurement there. We're sitting at about 0.3 inches. All right, we'll be as accurate as we can, but of course, image resolution and angle at which the picture was taken plays a little bit of a role there. So we'll just estimate that at 0.3 inches. Next thing we need to do is compare that to our known measurement. And the way I'm getting that today is from the bracketry that I already have for my accelerator cable. So again, we'll take our measurement, 0.53 inches. So I'll write those down real quick so I don't forget them. Okay, easy peasy. We'll get back to our calculations now. All right, need our calculator here, and we need to figure out our scaling factor. In this case, we got 0.53 as our known measurement that we need to get to. We're going to divide that by what we took off of our image, and we need to scale that image up 1.77 times, okay? Which is 177%. So then we're going to come back up here and do our page setup again, and we'll do our adjustment to 177%. We'll click OK, and then we're just going to print this image out again. Print, print. Now I've already got that one printed out as well. So we'll show you what we have after the full-size print. Okay, there it is. And compared to the original, of course, you see how the image is much bigger. And take a quick reference with our calipers. And you see we're pretty well dead on, okay? And from there, that's our full-size template. We'll take that to the car. We're going to use this reference here and this feature here to align this to the car, and that's going to locate where our square hole needs to be. These holes here we will worry about later once we get our bracketry in place, make sure all that is going to work. But the important part is this one right here. So we'll take this back to the car and see how this works out. Back at the car here, there's a couple of features in the picture that I'm going to be using. This here, you can see this in the photo, are the brake lines, which correspond to this feature here on the firewall. There's a depression here where those brake lines run. So the bottom of this spot right here, I'm going to use to line up with the bottom of this area here. And of course this feature is this. Now this picture of the car that this came off of clearly has been modified slightly. But other pictures I've seen kind of corroborate the story here, where can use this feature fairly reliably, I think. Now to get it, it's kind of a tight little area there. So I'm just going to fold this paper along this back edge of the feature here, and that'll just slide right in there. Now I got a couple of magnets with me to hold this on the car so we can kind of judge what this looks like. Yep, it's tucked in there right behind the valve cover. Let's get a look at that in there. I mean, it's in there, right? Right. I'm gonna try to just mark the center of that square before I try punching anything. All right, we'll see how this long bit does getting in there. I just want to get a little bit of a pilot in there so I can drill from the inside. That's really all I'm looking to do. I'll take this carburetor back off and give us a little, whoop, give us a little better angle. I don't want any sort of metal shaving here to get down in there, so cover that up. All right, see if we get a little better angle on it. Okay. Valve cover gonna go right back on. What I'm debating right now is whether or not I want to add the detail of this hole instead of being flat, angled up like it would have been from the factory. It's not much, it's just a little boop, just a little bit. All right. I think I've got somewhat a solution here. We're gonna give it a try and see how it does. I'm not gonna force it too bad because I don't want to go distorting the metal real desperately. Got a big bolt, some real thick washers. Run this up right here. We're just going to sandwich it, and then I'm going to pry down on that inside. See if we can get just a little bit of movement there. If not, I mean, I'm not going to be too upset about it. We've got the big mallet. Just going to give it a few taps and see what happens here. Nothing too big just yet. Working like a hot damn. Pretty subtle, but you can see that it's now tipped up a little bit instead of being flat, and that'll help that angle as that shoots out of there. Quick look at the bracketry for the inside. These cars, 68 and earlier, had a floor mount pedal. This was the bracket for that. This would have been welded to the floor. And this has been welded to the floor. The bottom of the pedal had a wire that would have gone through here, and it would bloop, 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 this, like that. This pedal assembly came out of an unknown year car. But the pedal then attaches to here, and it's kind of a floating pedal. All right, this rod here would have been for, I don't know, an automatic transmission thing of some kind. And this here, I guess, is just for, I don't know, springs or whatever. So we'll see if this works. I mean, it looks very familiar to things that I've seen in cars in the 69-ish range. But again, I have no idea what car it came out of at all. It was story told to me it was a small body car. What I want to do now is get a file and square that hole up. All right, about 1 billion years later. Yeah, tell you what, it's a workout there. Get this popped in the hole. Hopefully, we'll give it a shot. Get those in there, probably not. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Bloop. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Let's put you inside here for a second. I am going to have to do quite a bit of work to that pin on that stupid pedal. But, I've only got one screw in here, which is fine for now, just for mock-up purposes. All right. You can see here, this end won't go fully onto the pin because it got some bits hanging off of there and everything else, and needs to get cleaned up quite severely. Once it gets fully seated on that pin, it'll come out of that straight, I believe. But we got good range of motion. I probably do need to put some sort of stop so that the throttle doesn't overextend. But you can see as I articulate pedal down here, we're getting every bit of movement that we need. I'm also going to have to get a return spring rigged up. So there we go. Another small milestone. I know it doesn't seem like much, but that's a pretty big step in the process. So anyway, another milestone down. Super excited to keep moving on. Still waiting on the clutch parts, but I got some pieces up here for the front that I think are going to be pretty interesting. So we'll leave it there. See you next time.